family. Did it start?
Sí,
And does it
señora.
look good?
Todo bien.
Hola. ¿Qué tal? Oh, I'm sorry. I will have to do it in Spanish. They don't no, I won't. That would be crazy. Imagine I had you hostage here for 1 hour speaking at you. Y ahora voy a hacer el show. Y que me guste. I won't. Chill out. I won't do it in Spanish. Hi. How are we?
Good.
Yeah, we're good? Yes. All right, cool. What a great day. I'm so happy you're all here. My name's Lara. This is my show. Thank you for being here. It is so fucking sweet of you to be here. I really appreciate it. This is a huge dream of mine. It's actually my biggest dream. I've always wanted to perform or really just see what the inside of a nightclub that still runs at night looks like during the day. And this is it. This is what it smells like. Yeah, this is like what it feels like on your skin the day after. It's good. I get to be here every day, and I've been here every day for 27 days. Yeah, it's been good. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's just something about like me telling you my story while my feet stick to the ground. I love it. And I'm so happy you're here to witness it and have it. Thank you. Thanks for being here. This show is called Girl Latin Deaf, and it is for anyone who is Latin American or hard of hearing or is or knows a girl. If that's you, this show is for you. I hope you love it, or at least like it. I am so fine with that. Thank you for being here. I am from Mexico. Is anyone else from Mexico? Okay, don't even worry about it. That's totally fine. No big deal at all. I am from Mexico. My mom is actually the Mexican one. My dad's an anti-vaxxer, so that's different. He used to be Venezuelan, now being anti-vax, 100% of his identity. Mention. He's not a 5G anti-vaxxer, which we all love and appreciate. He's more of like a granola anti-vaxxer. Like he eats very healthy. That's how he eats. He eats like a little baby bird. He eats lots of fruits, lots of nuts, and my mom chews them up and puts them in his mouth for him. That's how my dad eats. It's jarring and upsetting. No, it's mostly coconut oil. That's genuinely what it is. It's coconut oil. He puts it all over his body. He moisturizes every day. Coconut oil. He eats it by the spoonful. That's not right. I'm pretty sure that's bad. He also puts it on his hair. He does like hairdos with coconut oil. I just went home. I realized if I kiss my dad on the forehead before leaving home, he'll moisturize my lip for the whole day. That's pretty good. My dad had his chopstick. You understand? It's not as exciting. All right, that's fine. He has been an anti-vaxxer for forever, a very, very long time. Since my older sister and I were tiny little babies. We got our first vaccine in Mexico, and 2 years later they found out that we were deaf in our ears. My dad, I don't need to specify where. People do ask. They say, "Hey, Lara, where is it that you can't hear?" And it's in the ears mostly. That's where it manifests. That's where it's been happening. My dad was like, "Oh, obviously, it was the Mexican vaccine that made my daughter deaf, and not my DNA because it's super good DNA. I'll never do that. Top-notch DNA." Also, my little sister, she actually didn't get the vaccine in Mexico, and she didn't come out deaf. She did come out kind of stupid. No one talks about it. No one mentions it ever at any point ever. They're like the deaf one, the deaf and the stupid one. Are we not going to talk about the fact that she's been prescribed Adderall? I'm sorry, 11 different times. Like 11 different medical professionals? I know, worrying. Very worrying. My parents would never ever give her Adderall. They don't believe in conventional medicine. What they do give her, they give her a stick of ginger instead. That's what they give her. They give her one stick of ginger. And I will say one thing. When she is chewing on the ginger, my sister is so focused. For 25 minutes, one ginger stick. Okay. I rest my case, is what I'm trying to say. Pretty good. My mom is not an anti-vaxxer. That's wonderful. But she does believe in the Mayan religion. Do we know it? Very niche. Never would you want a religion to be niche. It's so niche. She's one of 7 people that are believing in that as we speak. And it's not just because they were all killed, because they were, but also because they keep predicting stuff that just doesn't happen. Now we all know the Mayans. Yeah, remember 2012? Yeah, they had their chance and they fucked it. So unfortunate. Say what you will about the Christians, but they did it right because they never said when. So, keep it ambiguous. That's the lesson. I feel like 2012 was obviously too early. You know what I mean? Like, obviously too early. Like, they were only off by like 40 years. How unfortunate. So slow. You know? Just right there. I'm sorry, was that a comment about climate change? Yeah. I thought I'd like sprinkle it. We're thinking about it, so I just thought, okay. You care? Yeah, I actually do care, so we just shut the fuck up during the show. I'm sorry, what is that? Fair question, then. That is actually a really sassy, kind of bitchy version of me from a parallel universe where instead of doing comedy, I actually joined Extinction Rebellion. He thinks that I should have joined Extinction Rebellion in every parallel universe. But I'm like, isn't that the point of parallel universes, that I can do different things in every parallel universe? Now, what am I doing? It's every other parallel universe the same. What's the point? You know what I mean? What am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stupid. It'd be stupid. Oh, and this is what you chose? Yes. People are fine with it. Right? She's fine with it. She loves it. Shut up. I can hit her because it's me. And self-harm is not illegal. My parents, shut up. My parents do feel a lot of guilt about the fact that my older sister and I are hard of hearing. They feel a bunch of guilt about it. Because they feel like it's their fault. I think the worst part about that is that it's obviously their fault. So far as it's like, it's not my fault, you know? I was just born. I feel like what makes it obvious is like, I feel like there was one of us that was hard of hearing, it'd be like, oh, okay. We could say like a flu got us as a baby or something. But there's two. There are two. And that means that they fucked it. They fucked it the first time. The second time they fucked it also. The third time they fucked it but differently because my little sister's so stupid. Not like that, so stupid. What's it called? They do feel a lot of guilt. What they do little things to make up for it. Like the hearing aid that I have now, actually they gave them to me for my birthday. And that, I think, is not right. I think it's wrong. I feel like if you had them before, don't wait. Just hand them over as soon as you purchase them. Till my birthday? You're gonna wait till my birthday? What, to give me the gift of hearing? What is that about? They got them in May. And they gave it to me, and say it with me, December. I know, collectively upsetting, I agree. I can't believe it. They waited to the day of my birth, like if it was poetic, to make me whole on that day. I know, offensive, I do, I think so too. It's crazy, I think it's crazy, but they're so good. My hearing aids are so good, I can't complain. Like, they have Bluetooth. They really, yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for Bluetooth. Yeah, woo! Yeah. Bluetooth's great. Very, very impressive. How does it work? We'll never know. They have Bluetooth. Very awesome. I can listen to podcasts as I'm talking to people. Yeah. It's every modern woman's dream. It's so good. I'm listening to one right now. It's a true crime podcast. Omaha, Nebraska. Ooh, okay, they found these two fingers. Fingers belong to a woman, yeah. And the woman is missing. But not, there wouldn't be a podcast if she were. Ooh, okay, husband found the fingers. Kitchen counter, weird. So they think it was him. Also kitchen counter, it seems like he's staged. They're thinking he's staged. Ooh, okay, after a little investigation, we actually find that the husband is cheating on the no fingers lady with her sister. Oh. So he's a cheater, but is he a murderer? Anyways, my favorite thing about hard of hearing, definitely that my older sister is more hard of hearing. That's my favorite thing. No, doctors say we're the same level deaf. They keep saying that. You're the same level deaf. The deafness is the same. I don't believe it. I don't. That bitch is deaf as shit. She's so deaf. She's so deaf. She's deafer. She has to be. Or it's like really, really bad at it. She's bad at it too. She like never tells anyone she's deaf ever. I tell everyone all the time. I'm like, hey, I'm deaf. Don't talk to me. It'd be better for all of us. Just keep your little mouth closed. She doesn't. She pretends to hear. It's such a bad move to pretend to hear. If you try to answer a question that you did not hear, you know what I mean? You're gonna sound so stupid. There's no chance. There's really barely any chance that you won't sound so stupid. And she's not the stupid one, the little one is the stupid one. It's like, don't mix up your determining character traits, you know what I mean? Stay in your fucking lane, when you say to her. The thing about my older sister is that she is very hot. She's very hot. So it doesn't matter how much she participates. She's just like very attractive. She got these big titties. She's tall, she's blonde, she's tan, she's very hot. So nobody believes she could potentially be disabled. You know what I mean? They don't. They're just like, is that a hot woman? Oh, and she has no opinion? Jackpot! She's a keeper. We have what's called, the both of us have degenerative hearing loss. Thank you. Well, that usually gets claps. We have what's called degenerative hearing loss. It means it progressively gets worse, right? It's the one you pick if you want to be like deaf by the end of your life. That's the one I pick. And it means that progressively, over time, as time passes, it gets worse. And my sister and I, we don't speak sign language because doctors have told us that we don't have to worry about it. Because as our hearing gets progressively worse, science is just supposed to get better, right? Like people are working on it. They say, don't worry about it. Every day, someone's at the lab, scientists, they're working on it. They got the mice on it too. Everybody's just working on it. And so we don't have to worry about it. I just want to know, is there anybody here that's working on it?
No.
You know everybody? You know everybody in the room? Oh, I'm so glad I can just direct questions right over here. And I will, sir, and I will. Okay, well, since there's no one here, does this guy know what's your name, sir?
James.
James? Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here, James. And for having met everybody and asked all the thorough questions. It's very important. And we always have one in every show, and I love you. Doctors have told us that, and I mean, I've been asking this in every show. There's always a James that knows everybody, and nobody is working on it. Okay, right now, no one seems to be working on it, James. No one seems to be working on it. I'm just pretty sure because they're working so hard, they have no friends or family. They're just in the lab all day. The other day, at a show, this man raised his hand and he was like, actually, my wife's stepdad is working on it. And this man was 76 years old. He was so old. I was like, oh no. I'm pretty sure that person is made up and dead. Okay, now's the bit where I tell you that whole degenerative hearing loss thing. Actually, a metaphor for climate change. Isn't it so good? Okay, think about it later. You don't have to think about it now because we're in the moment. But think about it later. It fits perfectly. Okay, the first, this whole book filled with metaphors for climate change. The first one is degenerative hearing loss. We heard it here first. The second one is, you know when people get like food stuck in their teeth? Like when they get like a piece of, I think that could also be a metaphor for climate change. I haven't like worked out the kinks for that one. What I'm trying to say is I care deeply, but I'm doing only some of the work. Mostly the beginning part of the metaphor. Just thinking through. That's fine. This show is called Girl Latin Death. That's what it's called. It is my minority show. I decided to do this show this year. My next year's show is actually going to be called Vegan Misogynist Rich. Expecting to go through life changes. And next year I'm gonna be a bitch. Next year, vibe. This year I decided to do my minority show because I don't know if you've heard, being a minority, very in right now. So in. It's really happening for us. It's really in. Everyone's trying to do it too. Everyone's like 23andMeing to see what percentage Filipino they are. We're all doing it. We're all doing it. It's a great time to be a minority, and it's also a very weird time in history. That's never been the case. Through all history, we've all just been trying to pass as whoever life has been easiest for. And life historically has been easiest for the white, straight, able-bodied, cis men of the world, right? It's not their fault. I mean, it's obviously their fault. Sorry. I want to make that clear. It's 100% their fault. But that's not what the show is about. Like, it's not a question. They chose, right? That was a choice. But it's not what the show is about. You know what I mean? I'm not angry. A little bit. I am small time angry, but it's not my brand to be angry. So I'll step aside for a minute. I feel like that's been the way that things have been, and it's normal that we've all just been trying to pass. Everybody was like, "Oh, should I try to publish this book as a woman, and no one will read it? Or should I plop on a mustache? You know? Call myself Isaac. Publish this book." And everyone reads it. It's a fucking no-brainer. You know what I mean? You publish the book with a mustache on. Absolutely. Every time you plop on the mustache. And I think it makes sense. And everybody did it. You know Moby Dick? Actually, it's supposed to be Moby Vagina. No one would have read it. It would have been impossible. Just impossible. Impossible. It would have. Now we love vagina. Great time to write a Moby Vagina. Absolutely, you can get it. But it's different. Now we've changed. We really have. We've done this huge 180 in specific metropolitan cities around the world. In London, in New York. And now things are different. And things are better. And it's good. I think it makes sense for us to have always wanted to try and pass. I think it makes sense. I think life, we all know, is very hard. And it's all, like with the fact that it's all meaningless and there's no God. Oh no. What a letdown to find that out. And on top of that, I have to be a minority? No, thank you. Absolutely not. So I think for most of my life, I absolutely just passed. And now I'm very much coming out. And I'm like, hey, actually, I'm part of 3. And you might be like, Lara, how cynical, right? Just when it's in, now you're fucking jumping on the bandwagon. Absolutely. 100%. But to that I say, were you wearing low-rise jeans last year? Shut up. That is a joke for 50% of the audience, but women deserve jokes too. I don't know, I think that's a good argument. I think it's a good argument. I 100% tried to pass for most of my life. And I think it's normal that I did. And I think it's good that I'm not doing it now. The thing about me is that I am in this weird category of just, I can pass. I can pass. If I don't tell you that I'm hard of hearing, you just don't know. And my voice doesn't particularly sound like what a person with a hard of hearing thing sounds like. I don't sound like a deaf person, or what we all imagine a deaf person to sound like. You hear my voice, you just know that I'm a 12-year-old boy who falls just up. I know that. I know, and he needs to go to speech therapy. Okay. I want you to know I went, okay? I went for 6 years. And this is the result. This is what I got. That's how I say 6, and that's what it's gonna stay like. It's gonna be that. I think my voice sounds like if Bart Simpson was your friend and he sent you a WhatsApp message and you played it on 1.5. Thank you. I love a nod. I'll take a nod. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. Yeah, I know. That's where I land. It put me in this weird place where I think I call it disabled light. Is that offensive? I think it is. Disabled light. It's like if I don't tell you, you don't know. So that means I don't get like the perks that disabled people get. There's not that many, but there are 3. I do get Bluetooth. That's a great one. 10 out of 10. I can't complain. We love Bluetooth. But I don't get like a parking lot. I don't get a parking spot. I always say parking lot, but that's just so different. It's such a different ask. I'm like, give us a parking lot, give it now! I don't want a parking lot. It really wouldn't make a difference in my life. I don't drive, but I would like a parking spot. I don't drive, so I'm not getting one. But I would, like for example, I don't get a community. I'm not like deaf enough for deaf camp. I will be, but I'm not right now. Don't get it now. I don't get the bathroom, like the bathroom not for me. I use the bathroom. You all use the bathroom when you're in a fucking hurry. You fucking use the bathroom. I feel like I can use it a little bit more than you. Like a little bit. You know, like I feel like if I get one thing, you know, for like being born this way. You know what I mean? Like a long mirror. I'm asking very much. That's a long mirror, like a spacious room. You could do like a little dance. You know what I mean? That's all. I'm not saying that if I see a person in a wheelchair rolling over to the bathroom that I run and I skip them. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I would never say that. I walk and I pass them every time. It's not my fault. They're kind of slow for being on wheels. It's not for me. The bathroom's not for me. We know that. I don't get it. What I do get, my perk that I do get, is people coming up to me after shows and being like, "Oh, you're hard of hearing? I have tinnitus." Which, like, I bet that it's hard to have tinnitus. Like, I don't want to take that away from you. I bet it's hard. Like, I bet it must be hard to, like, hear something. I feel like it had nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Like, it just, like, oh, you're hard of hearing? You're gonna be deaf by the end of your life? How crazy. I was actually on a mountain the other day. I got this big old scrape. Thank you for sharing. Disabled light, that's what I call it. I think it makes sense. I have the same thing about being Latin American. I'm in this weird in-between group where if I don't tell you, you don't know. And that, I never really knew like what that meant until I moved I grew up between Mexico and Miami, and I moved to the Netherlands. I live in the Netherlands. I moved there 5 years ago. And when I moved, there's a Netherlands person? What? Oh, you guys live in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
Yes. I was about to be like, don't make noises that don't make sense.
Right.
I know them, actually. I met them in the Netherlands. Well, lovely. Thank you for being here. Great. I moved to the Netherlands 5 years ago. 5 years ago. I know I did 10 with my hand, but it was 2 individual 5s. For different parts of life. I moved there 5 years ago, and when I moved there, it was my first time living around a ton of white people. And it wasn't just white people, it was like white people. Right? It's a different kind of white person. You know? It's like the OG white person. It's like the Anglo-Sax white person. It's like the default avatar you get before you spice it up in a video game. White person. You know, it's like a specific white person. And before I moved there, I thought that I belonged to that group. And then I moved there, and everyone was like, "No, you don't. You're not white." I was like, "What? What do you mean? What am I?" They're like, "Oh no, you're what we call a person of color." I was like, "What? I've never heard that before. What do you mean?" She's like, "Oh, so I'm black." You were like, "No." I was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't think that. Of course I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What am I?" They were like, "Oh no, you're Mexican." I was like, "Oh." That's a silly joke. Absolutely, that is a silly joke. But it is exactly what happened. It is exactly what happened. A white person told me that I was a person of color, and I immediately accepted it. I've never doubted it since. And I think it's because historically they choose. And we gotta accept. And I do think it's weird, though. I think it's weird that I didn't know. I think it's weird that I found out I was a person of color when I was 22 years old. That seems late in a life to find out. And it seems strange. And it makes me feel like if you don't know that you're a brown person, are you? You know what I mean? Like, if a brown person falls in the forest, and there's no one around. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like to tell them that they're brown. Did they even fall? You know? Did they, or did a cop shoot them? I don't know. Is that the right question? Is that the correct question? Or is the forest completely on fire and the whole concept of race is just like burned along with us, so it doesn't even matter? Is that the right one? Is that the correct question? Oh, I'm sorry. Was that another comment about climate change? Yes. James knows, and it was. Yes, it was. I thought forest fires are topical, so I might as well like throw one in. Listen, I've been sitting beside James here for the entire show, and we were both thinking, I'm this way, we were both thinking, if you're going to talk about climate change, don't just like sprinkle it in. Give a pamphlet, we'd love a pamphlet. And also, we'd love a song. Yeah, maybe a song with some light switch. James and I would love a light switch. I'm sorry, what? No, that's not what this show is about. This show is about me being a girl who's Latin American and hard of hearing. I'm not going to change it just because you and James want that. I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry. I wrote it in, but it like always throws me off. This show is about me being a girl who's Latin American and hard of hearing. And I choose the word girl and not woman actively. I know in technical terms, I am a woman. You know, like I'm 25 and I just got my period. Today. I know I am a woman, but I don't feel like a woman. Like anytime somebody calls me a woman, I get goosebumps down my spine. And I feel like I'm like three little girls in a trench coat that I'm so excited. As a woman. I can't believe it. Like, it's really just very exciting for me. And I know I'm not like a full-blown woman because when I'm having sex, which I do sometimes, I'm like having sex this way. I'm like fucking. And if I for 1 second while I'm fucking remember that I'm having sex with a man, I'll come immediately. From the thought. You understand? It's too exciting. It's too exciting. My favorite position, doggy style, because I can giggle throughout it. It's really happening. Oh my God. Ow! I'm very new to sex. Is anyone else new to sex? Okay. Everybody's been fucking for years. It's 3 o'clock. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. I'm pretty new. I started not that long ago. I actually know now that like that's the only thing that I don't wear my hearing aid for. Sex. It's trial and error. You know, you learn. And I know that like sex is like where whispers go to thrive. But I have just completely come to terms with like if you're gonna whisper something, I don't need to hear it. I don't know. I feel like it's not for me. I feel like we're having sex and you're like, ooh, I gotta tell her something. Write it down. I'm fine with that. I'll bring it on stage and I'll show it to everybody I know. Keep a pen and paper right next to my bed. I don't wear them. I don't wear them because if you've ever gotten close to a person with hearing aids, which you should, when you get close to them, their hearing aids do this very high-pitched, very sensual feedback noise. They do like a and that goes on during the entire sex. So I have to think about that, and I have to compensate by making my orgasm like as bass as possible, you know, to cover the sound. So I have to orgasm like, and nobody likes that. Nobody likes it, except statistically 3 to 4 people have to, but I have not found them. I don't wear them. I'd rather have sex in silence for me. I am very new. I actually started taking birth control during the pandemic. For those of you who don't know what that feels like, that's like microdosing depression. Just every day at the same time, it's like little bits of sadness in your chest. Quite the woman experience. It's nice. I did start taking that. You might be like, Lana, during the pandemic, when everyone was supposed to be home all day? What, you were just out there fucking everybody, Lana? When everyone was supposed to be locked indoors because of the global pandemic, Lana? You just couldn't stop fucking everybody? Yes. But if you must know why, it's actually, I have cysts in my ovaries, and I read half an article that said that, that semen is actually soothing for the cysts. like a cream. So yeah, I was fucking a lot for medical reasons. Nobody likes semen jokes, that's fine, I'll check it in. I only have 7 more. What's it called? I stopped taking the birth control. It really genuinely made me so fucking sad, and instead I got a DUI. An IUD. An IUD, a copper T, we know it. I wasn't fucking so much, I got a DUI. I wish. The cop comes up to you. Excuse me, ma'am, can you put down your window? Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, is that cum on your breath? That's the theater, James. That's the theater. It's a copper T, a coil. We know it. You got it. You got to put it in. Everybody has it. We got it together. I remember. We have it. We know it. We know it. You got to put it in. You don't get pregnant, except 1% of the time you get pregnant. But that's only because God wants it so bad. God wants a baby so bad. He just sends it straight through anyway. And it comes out with a copper T just flat on its forehead. Yeah, 1% of the time, like a good Christian baby. Instead of Jesus Christ himself. That is 1% of the time. I'm kidding, there's no God. We already established that. It's a sad medical reason. We don't talk about it. I got it put in by a very sweet Dutch doctor. Historically, the worst, we know. But this one, so nice. So nice. She was in there the whole time. I had to do nothing, just stay like this. And she was like, you're doing great. You're doing wonderfully. This is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're the best. She called me the best in general. It was so nice. I went over, kissed her on the forehead. I did. It was too nice. It was too nice. She was so sweet. Just before I left, she was like, hey, Lana, by the way, you can't put in a menstrual cup anymore. Because if you do, it will create a vacuum. And it'll suck the copper T straight out. It happened to a bunch of women. I was like, what? She was like, bye. I was like, I'm sorry. That's the last thing you're gonna say to me before I leave? I have so many questions. 3 in particular. My first question. A queef. My second question. If I go through airport security, will it beep? And if so, will they finger me? Just to know in advance. My third question is, if I go through airport security and it beeps and I don't tell them that I have an IUD, will they finger me for free? That's another silly joke. I agree. You might be like, oh, this bitch only silly, not at all political. That whole bit, actually, about women's rights. I'm going to do a political thing now for you, miss. I'm going to do a political thing. It's also a 90s movies reference. What? Yeah. It's an impression. Okay. Okay, I was just, that was fine, you guys were. Okay, I feel like we should, okay, yeah, fine. I feel like, okay. Yeah, I feel like we should say climate crisis. No, fine. I would just really, okay, yeah, it's fine, don't worry about it. If we could just, no, I feel like we're not listening. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah. I could just get, that's fine. Sorry, I'm a vegetarian. Okay. That is a girl interrupted. Thank you. It took me a long start having sex because my mom's a Latin American mom. And she would talk about my vagina every day. Every single day she would have one thing to say, but only in metaphor. She would only say it in metaphor. And she would say stuff like, Lara, nobody wants to buy a lock that can be opened by every key, Lara. Lara, nobody wants to buy an apple that's already been bitten by someone else, Lara. Lara, if you give them sex too soon, they won't stay with you forever, Lara. That was pretty straightforward. That's barely a metaphor. She would say stuff like that every day, and I found out I had a clitoris 4 years ago. I'm sorry, what? I know, isn't it collectively upsetting? I agree. 4 years ago? What do you mean? She was there alone. I had no idea. I would only know when I would like hit myself against a chair, and I would like hit myself against the chair again. I was like, why does it feel so good? I didn't know. Now we know each other. BFFs. Clitorita is what I call her. I think it's sweet. Reminds her she's Latina. That's important to me. Clitorita seems sweet. I can't believe it took me so long to like be in touch with my sexuality. And things did change for me. They did change for me when I went to Southeast Asia, which at the time I thought was an original adventure. Came here. Everyone and their mothers also went there to get sexually liberated. I saw that. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say Southeast Asia? I was like, didn't you say you care about climate change? You can just fuck local? Of course I can fuck local. It was five years ago. Remember 5 years ago? How stupid we all were? Like as a society, we're a dumbass, remember? Remember what the most viral video was 5 years ago? Of a man punching a kangaroo just square in the face. Remember that? We loved that video. We were like, yeah, take that, nature. We loved that shit. That was 5 years ago, so I went to Southeast Asia. What, sue me? Oh my God. That's why we're in a climate crisis in every parallel universe. Oh my God. We're in a climate crisis in every parallel universe? Yes, except the vegan one. But everyone keeps killing themselves there, so we don't know if that's a good thing. Oh my God. What a terrible image. I hope it doesn't bring down the vibe. I didn't know about the climate crisis, but I did know about massages. Is that a good segue? I love a massage. I love actually any form of consensual touch. I'll do a high five to absolutely everybody. I got one earlier over here. I love consensual touch. I will only do poses wrong in yoga class so that the teacher comes and put her hand on it. Fixing it up. I love that. Oh, you want a receipt at the supermarket? Yeah, please. Hold your hand. I don't know if that was consensual, but I will do it. You hold it for long enough, I think that's grounds for a little peck. I will. I love a consensual touch. I love it so much. I spent the whole time in Asia. I spent 3 months there. The last month I went to a party in the Thai jungle, which is just a jungle but in Thailand. And I walked in, and I saw the most beautiful man I had ever seen in my whole life. He was like very tall. He had the shoulders, little noble boy. He was lovely. He was the first Dutch man that I had ever seen in my whole life. And at that time, I didn't know there was a country full of people that looked very similar. Very similar in that country. Now he looked just like my mailman. But at that moment, I was like, I couldn't believe it. He was gorgeous. We start talking. He tells me his name, Lars. My name, Lara. Okay. No, all right, we're gonna fuck. I'm pretty sure we're fucking tonight. We start chatting. After about a minute, we're making out. It never happened to me. I was like, how? Moved to the Netherlands, found out. It's a thing that Dutch men will just do. They put their beautiful face just so close to you when you're talking. Just you can't tell that they don't have a personality. Is he funny? No! He's not funny. He has blue eyes and you have post-colonial trauma. We made out so hard. I didn't have to go home with him that night, obviously, because you gotta wait. If not, they don't want to have your lock. You take your lock and they don't want to have a marriage with you in the Thai jungle, which is what everyone then wants.
He slapped you in the face.
James, you can't comment on everything. I didn't go home with him. And next time we saw each other, we started playing Never Have I Ever because we had nothing to talk about. And we sat next to each other. And I was like, what's the hottest thing for a man ever? He should probably know. He'd probably love to know that I'm a virgin. He'd probably love to know that. And I was like, never have I ever had sex with anyone. And he was like, oh, that sucks. And I was like, yeah. I have like cobwebs in there. That's what I said. That's what I actually said as a sexy thing. I said cobwebs. Like cobwebs. Like the place where spiders catch their prey. That's what I said as a sexy thing. And in my head, my mom was like, we got him! That night, I did see my first uncircumcised dickaroonie, which if we have not seen one, oh my god! What? Do we all know what they look like? What did they look like that? What a fun look. What a fun and different and interesting look. I never thought that was what they were going to look like. It's very funny. It's a very funny look. They all look like Alf. They look exactly like Alf. I didn't know that. What a fun thing to find out. It's like one moment you're giving him a hand job, next you put a finger in his butt and you're his puppeteer. That's my best joke. If you didn't like that joke, it's all downhill because that's my best joke. And it's about penis because there's not enough jokes about that. It's all about equality in the comedy industry. I saw my first uncircumcised dickaroonie. I had to go the next day because it was all unprotected because my mom had never included a condom in any of her metaphors. I had to go to the Thai pharmacy, which is just a pharmacy but in Thailand. I walked in and I saw the women working behind the counter were 3 ladies wearing their hijab. And they just looked like holy women and I didn't know how to tell them what I needed and I was uncomfortable and I was just like, They were like, you mean the morning after pill? And I was like, yes. And they were like, here you go, you big slut. I don't think my mom was right. I don't think my mom was right. Because I never saw Lars again. I didn't see him again. But he did give me herpes, and that's forever. It's not. You're gonna tell me that's not forever? Herpes in my face. Herpes in my face from a random Dutch man with my same name. You wouldn't think. He gave me face herpes. He had a scar here, and he told me he was in a scuba diving accident. What could that mean? What? A fish hit him? A crab scratched him? I can't tell you. There's just nothing it could have been except the herpes. And you know what I did? I kissed it like a dumb girl. Got herpes, and I know we're collectively upset about that, and we should be. And 2 weeks later, I moved to the Netherlands. No, I didn't move for Lars. I did not move for Lars. I moved to the Netherlands, and then I was like, hey Lars, I live here now. You? Are you here? Are you in this small town called Gouda? What am I doing here? Are you here? Is your mom? No, I didn't move for him. I moved for me. Like we shave our legs for us. You know what I mean? Like I moved for me. Like I did for me. And now I'm gonna sing a song. James. And I'm gonna sing a song. And It is about following a boy. Unrelated. I'm kidding. I don't want you to think, oh, she can't stop following boys. Don't think that. But I can't stop following boys. I don't think that though. I did follow this boy, but he was a boyfriend of mine, so that makes it better, right? We were in our first long distance relationship. Has anyone been in a long distance relationship? Can you go, woo? Woo! Okay, great, thank you. I hope this resonates with you. It's a song about that. It was my first time. I'm standing here because there's air here. But maybe that's not the best place for the crowd. Was that weird? Absolutely. Am I in a weird place? Yes. Have I been doing it for 27 days straight? Yes. Do I want to die? Kind of. Yeah, I kind of want to die. Okay, great. I'm going to sing a song. It's about following a boy. He was leaving to Australia, my boyfriend. He was going to leave for 6 months, and we were going to see each other. And we decided to do one last crazy thing together. Have a lovely night. And so we did a ton of morphine. Just a ton. It was just a ton. Don't worry about it. It was just a ton. And we woke up in a bathtub. I can't tell you what happened. I have no recollection of it. But I do remember that I took him to the airport. I dropped him off, and it was the weirdest feeling of my life. It felt like an essential part of me was gone with him. Like just gone with him. I never felt that before. I went back home. I went back to the airport, bought a flight, and I followed him to Sydney. That's crazy. Absolutely, James. It's crazy. But I'm going to sing a song about that now. I'm on the next flight, window seat. Lady at security looked at me strangely. There's no time, I'm feeling complete. I gotta go see my baby. I board the flight, but I'm so bored of the flight. I pop 6 NyQuil, I drift into the night. Wake up, I got a piece of web. I hit the loo like a lamb. I push and push, but I got no juice. I think I know what's going on, my pee's normally so strong. I think I know what's going on, my pee's normally so strong. Somebody stole my kidney. Why would do this to me? Somebody stole my kidney, and now I only have my other kidney, my large disc and my small disc, my liver, my pancreas, my bladder. I'm down a kidney and I'm getting madder, getting madder. Is it you? Is it him? Is it there? I'm sorry, sir. Have you seen what I can only describe as looking like a kidney? I'm pretty sure it looks like what a guinea pig looks like with no skin on. Somebody had me disembodied without my consent. Somebody took my kidney. I would do this to me. Somebody took my kidney, and now I only have my other kidney, my large disc, and my small disc, and my liver, my pancreas, my bladder. I'm down a kidney and I'm getting madder, getting madder. See my boyfriend standing there when I get off the plane. He's holding a tiny Versace handbag, and he says, let me explain. Babe, I love you, and yes, I stole your kidney. I sold it to an old billionaire here in Sydney, but I got you this handbag to ask you for your hand in marriage. Versace, Versace, will you marry me? Versace, Versace, will you marry me? And I laugh and I smile. Eyes so full of acting. Illegal surgery. Could he be more romantic? My boyfriend stole my kidney, now I feel so blessed. My boyfriend stole my kidney, now I weigh much less. My boyfriend stole my kidney, now I feel so blessed. My boyfriend stole my kidney, now I weigh much less. My boyfriend stole my kidney. Everybody clap. My boyfriend stole my kidney. Love is so now gone. My boyfriend stole my kidney, and now I only everybody my large intestines, small intestines, large intestines, my liver, my pancreas, my bladder, and this handbag. Forcefully on the clap. That is a song about love. But it is also a song about kidney theft. Let's be real. That's what the song is about. And people aren't really talking about that too much these days. I don't know if you've seen it. Not really in the media. people aren't doing jokes about that. You gotta give me that. Nobody's making jokes about kidney theft in comedy. And I think the reason for that is because it's not happening all that much. It's not a big problem right now. People aren't stealing half as many kidneys as we'd like for them to be doing. And I actually think that's a reason to talk about it more. Because, and this might be an unpopular opinion, I think it'd be good for us as a society to get a little bit more kidneys stolen. I think it'd be good for us to just be a little bit more scared all the time. And I can't talk about it in depth in this hour because it's not one of my themes. But I will talk about it in my third hour, which is tan middle-class organ thief. And I know I'll be middle-class by my third hour because I know me and I'll invest in the wrong crypto. I know that for a fact. I will talk a little bit more. I do care about that, but I won't talk about it more because nobody ever jumps on board. And I will talk a little bit more about what it means for me to be Latin American. And I think I need to tell you that. I need to tell you a tiny story, which is when I was 12 years old, I went to my second private school. My parents were both freelancers, 3 daughters, and they wanted everything to be equal for their 3 daughters, which meant that anytime that we had money as a family, the 3 of us would go to a private school. And anytime that we spent that money on that private school, the 3 of us would go to a public or state school. And that happened 7 times, which is correct, too many times. And I think it's why I sing about kidneys. And I went to the second private school. It was in North Florida, and it was around a ton of white people. I had left my little Latin American haven that was Miami. And you know how, like, in middle school, you do, like, the scientific method and you show everyone your nipples, like, to compare? Remember? Remember we all did it? Remember between lunchtime and break time, nipple time? Remember? Remember we would all go, nipple time, nipple time, nipple time, everybody show their nipple? We all did it. I know we did it. Remember when we used to make out through newspaper? Remember that? Make out through a piece of newspaper to practice with our friends? Remember? Whoever had the most newspaper left in their mouth was the best kisser of the class. She said it with me. We all did it. I did it with her. We know. We did it. Remember we used to tattoo Celine Dion quotes on our lower back? With pen, we'd burn the pen at her, remember? Oh, now nobody did it? I know everybody did it. I know everybody did it, and I did it, and I saw that all the girls in my class, they had these little pink nipples, little pink nipples. I was like, oh, look at that. I think I have a disease. I think the problem is that I am diseased, and I Googled it, because my nipples were more like brown hitting purple, and I was like, well, maybe there's not enough oxygen getting to the tip of my nip. Maybe this is a genuine problem. I know it's uncomfortable. It's a genuine, I was like, oh, potentially I have an oxygenation nipple problem. I Googled it. I was like, how to fix this problem? And Google said, oh, Dad, don't even worry about it. All you gotta do is this. All you gotta do is put honey and lemon on your nipples. Hey, Lana, why don't you do this for a year? Why don't you try this for 1 year? Guess what I did from 12 to 13? Every day. Wait till my parents went to bed, and I'd go over to the kitchen, and I'd make a little concoction, and I'd fondue my nipples in a tiny little bowl small enough for my little baby titties, and I'd fondue them, and then I'd go to bed, I'd wake up, I'd peel my shirt off, and I'd go to middle school. Turns out, you can't just use honey and lemon to fix an ethnicity. It will not work. It will not work. They were the same. They were just so sticky. Oh man, I had the stickiest nipples in town. They were so sticky. They were sticky all the time, 24/7 sticky. They looked like 2 little burnt baklavas. That's what they looked like. So both of them. They were so sticky. I feel like, I know that story makes everybody a little bit sad every time I tell it. It makes everybody a little sad. I know we're all thinking, like, so many bees work to no avail, you know? They are going extinct, and that's problematic. I do think, I wish I hadn't used so much honey like that. I also think we shouldn't have made out through a newspaper. Why did you do that, miss? I have really no idea why we did that. This disgusting. But the Celine Dion quote, I still have it. And you might be like, oh, that's so sweaty, you can't even read it. Actually, I got it done like that for dramatic effect. Is that worth it for the visual gag? The answer to that is always no, and has been for 27 days. Why is she still doing it? We don't know. And my tech guy who writes it every day doesn't know either. Thank you, Mike. Round of applause for Mike. Woo! I feel like that should have let me know that I wasn't white. The fact that I was honeying and lemoning my nipples every night. But it didn't. It didn't, and I think the reason it didn't is because I grew up in Miami. And Miami, I don't know if we know Miami, but I think that's the place where children should not be allowed to be. I think they should not be allowed to grow up there. I am writing a petition about that, and you can sign it later. I do feel like it's a very weird place, Miami. Like everybody leaves Latin America to go move to Miami. So everybody there is second generation Latin American immigrants. And as soon as they touch the soil, they are now, they self-consider themselves white. Like they just agree that they are white. And I think I know why everybody there thinks that they're white. I think it's because we didn't clean our own houses. Yeah. I think it's that. I think somebody else was doing the cleaning, and we were like, I guess that means we're white. As a collective. That is a joke about class difference. Thank you. It does make me think stuff about like what the white mentality does. I think it's a bad call to think that you're white, whether you are or you're not. That's just a stance I have. I have a couple. That is what I feel. I feel like thinking that you're white makes you feel like you're invincible. And that's just always bad because that makes you steal a lot from the supermarket, right, James? Right? Shut up, audience! I know everybody stole from the supermarket. I know it. We all did it. You don't even have to say it. You'll say it to me on the way out. Everyone's like, me too on the way out. Say it now! Fucking herd mentality. Just fucking whatever. I don't even know why I just threw in herd mentality. Anyways, I did steal a lot from the supermarket. I didn't do it all the time, but like I did it all the time when I moved to the Netherlands. And I'd never done it before. But I don't know if you know, but something about the Netherlands. At the supermarket in the Netherlands, they strictly employ little children. Have you seen that? Very small children. Yes? Yes. Say yes out loud.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. And I didn't even make him say that, although it seemed like I did. What's it called? It's very crazy. When you walk into the supermarket, nobody working there has pubic hair. I don't know that for a fact. I don't know that for a fact. I have a hunch. They have these tiny little baby hands. They're so small, like this. Tiny little baby hands. If you ask them for a liter of Coke, they need to use both hands to give it to you. And they are so small. They have braces. Just little baby. They pay them $4 an hour. I Googled it. And that incentivizes child labor. I think that's wrong. So I'm taking one smoked salmon a day. As protest. And I am stealing, and I was stealing, 100% as a white activist. No doubt in my mind was it about anything else except white activism. And I got arrested because you can't do it, even if from a place of moral superiority. Disallowed. And they took me to this room in the back. In my defense, undercover little cop. In regular people clothes. At the little. Oh, everybody knew about this? It's very shocking. I walked in and I stolen 4 cheeses. And my last name is Ricote. And when the cops saw that, oh, they had the biggest laugh in the Netherlands. The biggest laugh that I've ever seen in the Netherlands. I was like, actually, that's not even a great joke. That's just a stupid Ricotta coincidence. That has nothing to do with it. I'm actually a comedian, and that's not even a great joke. They asked me for my ID, and I had the choice between giving them my Spanish passport, because my grandparents were in the Civil War in Spain, don't worry about it, or my Mexican passport. And at first, I was like, I 100% give them my Spanish passport. 100%. I think the woke thing to do, historically speaking, is to scapegoat theft on all of Spain. I think that makes sense. But then I was like, you know what? I think by giving them my Spanish passport, all I'm doing is actually just being kind of ashamed of the fact that I'm Mexican and I stole, and I don't want them to think those things are related. And I didn't want to have to feel that. I didn't think it was right to feel that. I feel like in this day and age we shouldn't have to. Like, why am I plopping on a Spanish mustache? I shouldn't have to anymore. You know what I mean? I really shouldn't have to. And I was like, you know what? No. Today I take a stand. Yeah. And you know what? I'm not gonna let Frida Kahlo die for me to deny my roots. I'm not sure why she died, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't for that. You know what? Yeah, children. Yeah, I'm Mexican. I said. I gave him my Mexican passport. I said, yeah, I'm Mexican. And yeah, I stole. And you know what? I'm not embarrassed. No, rather I'm proud. Yeah, because I stole as a Mexican. Yeah, I stole as part of a nation. Yeah, I am a Mexican who steals. I got arrested as a Mexican, which is better. It feels like I feel like if I want you to take anything away from this hour, steal. That's what I think I want. I kind of feel comfortable with that being my message for the hour. So I'm just gonna leave that there. If that. Oh, I'm sorry. What the fuck are you saying? Are you fucking kidding me? You have 5,000 adults here listening to you. You're in the biggest crisis humanity has ever faced, and you're gonna leave them with a message about how Mexicans steal that any white middle-aged man could have written? Are you fucking kidding me? I thought this show was called Climate Change: My Struggle. It's not called that. Actually, we found out that my comp actually means my struggle, so we can't use that anymore. It's not allowed to be used anymore. And also, what the fuck are 5,000 people gonna do? We all know that no one can do anything as an individual. It's too big of a... As Margaret Mead said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed, individual citizens can... Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Shut up! Don't end my show with a quote. Oh my god, calm down. I can't. I am upset. I'm mad. I feel like we're doing comedy as the world and then no one wants to talk about it because it's annoying to talk about it. I get it. I also feel like I'm mad that the aircon is on. Also, is it even fucking on? Like, could it be on a little bit more? But also, it shouldn't be. That's how I feel about everything. I feel hypocritical and bad, and I feel like I wish we were more mad. I wish we were mad. I guess that's what I want you lovely people to leave with. I want you to be mad. That's how I want to end my comedy show. So go on and be upset. And also, if we could do something about bringing kidney theft back, that would be so good. Also, thank you guys. That's my show. Woo! Just being present and laughing and listening. I appreciate it so much. I'm so glad you were all here. I have a little paper to give you at the end, James. I will give you that at the end. If you like the show, tweet about it, Instagram about it. If you didn't, do it anyways. Humor is subjective. And you will find some people find this funny. And I have a little paper to give you, and if you would like to give me a little paper, you absolutely can. I will take a little paper in the form of money, and I will also take a pin. If you didn't pay, or you feel like you would like to pay more, thought the show was worth more, you can, absolutely. Thank you so much. Don't forget, I am a minority. Thank you so much for being here.